analysis of the state of nature begins with a claim that appears progressive, even democratic. Humans are naturally equal. But this equality, far from being a blessing, becomes the source of perpetual conflict and insecurity. What does Hobbes mean by natural equality? Not that all individuals possess identical capabilities. Obviously, some are stronger, others more intelligent, some possess superior skills. Rather, Hobbes argues that differences in individual capacities are relatively modest and cannot establish secure domination. The strongest person can be killed by the weakest through cunning, coalition, or simply catching them asleep. The most intelligent person is never so superior that they can permanently dominate all others through mental capacity alone. This equality of vulnerability produces what Hobbes called equality of hope. If I want something you possess, I have a reasonable expectation of obtaining it through force, cunning, or alliance, and you have similar expectations regarding my possessions. No natural hierarchy exists sufficient to establish stable superiority and subordination. Now, Hobbes identifies the three principal causes of conflict inherent in human nature and the state of nature's structure. First, competition. Humans desire the same scarce goods: food, shelter, resources, sexual partners. When two people desire the same thing that both cannot have, they become enemies, seeking to destroy or subdue each other. Second, diffidence or mutual distrust. Even if I'm not naturally aggressive and desire only modest possessions necessary for survival, I cannot trust that you share my moderation. You might attack me preventively, fearing that I'll attack you. Knowing this, I'm rationally compelled to strike first as a defensive measure. This creates what is called a security dilemma. Actions taken for defensive purposes are indistinguishable from offensive preparations, triggering preemptive aggression from others.
Third, glory or reputation. Humans seek honor, recognition, and respect. We're sensitive to slights, contempt, and challenges to our standing. In the state of nature, where no authority can adjudicate disputes over honor, even minor disagreements escalate to violence. Moreover, reputation for strength and willingness to fight provides deterrent value, incentivizing violent responses to even small provocations. These three causes, competition, diffidence, and glory, operating among naturally equal individuals with no common power to keep them in awe, produce Hobbes's most famous conclusion. The state of nature is a state of war. Not necessarily continuous combat, Hobbes clarifies, but a condition where no assurance exists against violence. Just as cloudy weather means disposition toward rain without constant rainfall, war means known disposition toward violence without constant fighting. In this condition, Hobbes writes in one of philosophy's most memorable passages, "There is no place for industry, because the fruit thereof is uncertain, and consequently no culture of the earth, no navigation, nor use of the commodities that may be imported by sea, no commodious building, no instruments of moving and removing such things as require much force, no knowledge of the face of the earth, no account to time, no arts, no letters, no society, and, which is worst of all, continual fear and danger of violent death, and the life of man solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short." This is crucial. The misery of the state of nature doesn't result from human depravity or moral corruption. It follows logically from natural equality, scarcity, and rational self-interest operating without coordinating authority. Hobbes has identified what modern political science calls a collective action problem, a situation where individually rational behavior produces collectively disastrous outcomes.